the groove is like on someone's shoulder and they're saying, yeah. And everyone's yelling and there's all these old Vietnamese grandparents around and I'm like, what the hell is happening? This is like an Asian rave wedding. Hey guys, what's up? It's another episode of the Flip Side. This is a different schedule. We usually never do it in the morning, so this is the first morning shift for the Flip Side. What's your thoughts? Looking fresh. I love how you shave. You're like, you know, the beard's gone. You got short hair.
God, it's manscaping, isn't it? But yeah, episode 29. It is the morning. We've done the morning once. We've done it once.
Yeah.
With Steven, remember? Did it once like a month and a bit ago.
I think so, yeah. That does ring a bell. It's crazy how like the 30 episodes, 30 hours is a lot, but it's just a blur for us. For me at least. Like I was like, we talk about a lot of different things.
For 30 hours, 30 episodes, 30 weeks. Looking fresh. You got a fade. I see you're all ready for the Easter long weekend. Do you have any plans?
Actually, I totally forgot it was Easter.
Yeah.
I actually have no plans whatsoever. I forgot it was a public holiday. Is this like a worldwide thing or is it an Australian thing only?
Worldwide. It's Easter long weekend from Friday to Monday. So
wow.
I think everyone's busy spending time with their families, getting time off, but I don't have any plans. I'm just going to be sitting at home. We're not Christian or Catholic, whatever, so we just enjoy the long weekend, but no plans at all, just chilling.
No plans at the moment. I just have like, I might, I guess, book things in, maybe catch up with you, play tennis. We should definitely still do tennis.
Oh, I'm so down.
I'll definitely hit you up for that. But yeah, no plans so far. Did you see that chart I had on my sort of wall, the life calendar chart?
Yeah.
So
give some context to the people.
Pardon?
Give some context to the people.
Yeah, so I have this life calendar where it's like this massive sort of A3, A2 sort of piece of paper combined. So I put together 4 A4 pieces of paper. It has like, I don't know, like 1,000 small boxes, and each box represents a week. So by the end of highlighting every single box, I'll be 90 years old. So right now 1/3 or like 1/4 of the whole chart has been highlighted because I'm 20, 21, turning 22. And a new week has passed and I'm going to highlight another box.
So it's a slow burning process, isn't it?
Yeah. And like I thought like, because on one side it looked a bit like scary because it was like, damn, I could see my whole life on this one piece of paper. But then it takes a while to just highlight one box. Like a week goes by much slower than people expect, especially if you're counting it.
Yeah, and not even that. Like when I saw it and you put it into perspective as to like, just for example, the average expected human life is 90 years of age and you've already filled up like 1/3 of it. And I was just like, okay, right, okay. Very soon it'll be half the page. But yeah, it takes a lot longer than people think, but it really does put into perspective, like makes you want to chase your goals harder and like go harder at everything. Has it like, do you find that it motivates you or anything, or do you just keep it as like a tracker?
I sort of just keep it there. Sometimes it motivates me. Sometimes I totally forget about it and I don't think about it at all. This morning I woke up and I was just like tired, not too motivated because like yesterday I got like some work done. That usually always happens every morning. So I'm trying this thing where I'm putting together all these motivational playlists, videos into like a playlist. I'm just going to play that every morning I wake up and see if that does the trick or anything.
Is it like a mix of like Gary Vee and like all these
like Tony Robbins, like a bit of Elon Musk. It's like all these like motivation of like you have one life, you just have a positive mindset, never give up type of videos. So we'll see how that goes, because there needs to be like I'm going to keep trying different things, but I want to find something that can really give me like a steady stream of motivation when I wake up, because when you wake up and you feel like shit because you just woke up, there needs to be something that can really get you back on your feet. I guess for some people it's like coffee. For some people it's like a morning routine like meditating or something, because I remember like I used to do these like Tony Robbins like and I used to like envision all the energy pulling into my body and all this crazy stuff, and listen to him guided meditation. That sort of ish worked. Having like a crazy like morning routine where I would like eat, exercise, read through my affirmation booklet, that sort of ish worked. But for some reason I don't want to go back to doing that. I don't know why.
Because if it's the same thing over and over again, it just becomes boring, and like that's with every routine. Like you have to find things to mix it up and spice it up a little bit. It's like if you have a morning routine and you force yourself to only eat like bananas every single morning, like you're obviously going to hate it. For me, I'll have a coffee every now and then, like because I start a little bit later today, I'm going to go and get a coffee, go for a walk, maybe get a coffee and like relax, like I think what you should do, would be interesting. Have you ever, like as a form of motivation, watch your old videos or watch your old vlogs that you've ever posted and just think about the progress that you've made from back then, and you're like, okay, look, this was me 1 year ago, I want to be even better than today, and like just look back and just be like, oh my god, you'll either look back and you'll either cringe, you'll either look back and you'll be grateful, you'll either look back and you'll be very fortunate to be in the position that you are today because of the hard work that you put in. So I reckon doing that could be a different sort of motivation, because you're like, okay, this is the growth that I've had in 1 year's time. In X amount of years I can get that. I reckon you should just try that. Maybe just one
good plan. I'm actually going to try that. Like I'm already thinking of what I'm going to do, because I have these like mini private vlogs and I date them and everything, and I would literally watch probably like a different one every single day, like because like I have ones throughout the year, so it would always be a year old. So like as I grow older, I'll look back to the one exactly a year before, so I just keep like moving like that. That's a good idea, Krishn. Good idea. I'm gonna give that a try.
Give it a try, and then like have your motivational videos or stuff that you watch or playlists that you watch. But I don't know, does music help you in the mornings?
Music sometimes does, but at the same time it sometimes gets me pretty like happy and lazy. So like I've noticed like watching YouTube videos are like a biggest trap in the morning. Like if I go on YouTube, I'm like, I get sucked in. Music sort of is similar. Like I end up just like listening to a lot of music. So I try to keep like anything that gives me like dopamine or like stimulation low in the morning, because I've noticed that's what leads to a good probably day, and that's how I start getting motivated.
Yeah, 100%. Like for me, I can't watch it when I like if I was studying or something, because I listen to music when I was studying, just because I don't know, I just get too bouncy, just get too jubilated, But yeah, I can't do that. But it's been 2 weeks since our last episode. 2 weeks?
I think we filmed a week ago, actually.
We filmed a week ago, but by the time this comes out, it'll be 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, this will come out in 2 weeks' time. But we're going to talk about it anyway. The evergreen vessel in Suez Canal in Egypt.
Oh, what happened there?
You know that ship that's stuck there?
Oh, really? Was that in Egypt? For some reason, I thought that was like in Panama or something, the connection from North and South America. Okay, so it's in between Africa and Asia, that port.
That's correct. It's connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea. So yeah, Africa and Asia. And it's like a huge shipping port. When you think about it, like that's a port that's used very often for a lot of cargo ships coming through, for goods going to Asia, goods going to Africa, back and forth. And then, Africa export a lot of say coffee beans, etc., like, and cocoa, etc. So it's going from there here. So it's like a huge port, right? And like, at first when it happened, like the ship would block the port, and I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. Like, how did they get in that situation? Like, those videos that you see is like top 10 situations and like top 10 weird situations, and like, how dogs getting themselves in like stuck in various places, like how the hell did the dog get stuck there? It's like that, but with a huge cargo ship.
That is crazy. I'm looking at the photos and I'm like, damn.
And isn't it crazy to think that just the ship alone, it being stuck there for like a week now, has caused massive trade dramas across the world. Like one of our friends, your friends, is talking to you, and he's telling you that the price of Mercedes cars are just going to go up in like this year, just based on this blockade alone. And I'm thinking, okay, but personally, I was thinking, okay, wouldn't it depend on the stock and the cargo that the ship was carrying at the time, and then that would impact the trade and demand supplies? But if you think about it, this ship being blocked in that canal alone for a week, impedes a lot of other important trade cargo ships that are coming through. And these ships, they move like clockwork. It's in and out, and like you've seen like time lapses of like a shipping dock, how they work. Like it's full on 24/7. You got cargo ships coming in and out, and the minute one stops, there's delays for everything. So new cars, new parts, everything is delayed, and just it's so crazy to think like this actually happened. You know what I mean? Like,
how did it happen? Do you know the story? Like, I'm looking, it's like diagonal. How the hell? Yeah, what the hell?
How do you end up diagonal? It's so weird. I just don't understand how it happened. Like, do you reckon someone would have fallen asleep at the wheel? That's the only thing I can think of. Like I'm just having a bit of a read, but it's just, I don't know. It's a very narrow canal, so I can somewhat understand, but it's crazy. It's honestly crazy. I just don't know what to make of it.
Because I think you're right. There's like a huge like knock-on effect. Like, for example, if there was traffic, like if one car got stuck on like a Hume highway and then it caused backed up traffic, there's like a huge knock-on effect, because like one, that person himself, he's now late to home. Now 50 other people, 100 other people stuck behind you are now late at home. Now 50 people are now losing like they're going to be half an hour late each. So that's freaking half an hour times 50. That's like 25 hours that's going to be lost due to this one incident. And on top of that, maybe out of like 50, maybe there's 10 arguments that come up of it. Now the 10 arguments, maybe like freaking 2 breakups and divorce comes out of it. So one little issue can cause such a huge knock-on effect. And that's just an example of like a traffic jam. Imagine if it was like something to do with like the Evergreen, where it's stopping like businesses, companies, employees, having so much stock arriving late for different businesses. Like, there's going to be huge knock-on effects that's going to just spiral for the next like few like months.
I reckon a few months, 100%. For it to get back to normal, it'll take a few months. But I think that's the perfect way to put it. An analogy I didn't really think of either at the start is like, it is just like a traffic jam when you think about it, because it's preventing everything from coming in. But yeah, it's interesting because, I think it's free. I think it's free. I don't know if it's free or not, but like, how they have to get the tugboats coming in and everything. So this ship alone is holding up in $12 billion worth of cargo every day, that it's each day in global trade. And supply chains are already, going through the ringer because of COVID. There's not much supply around, and then this happens. It's 2021. But, restrictions eased on Sunday. New South Wales, Sydney is pretty much back to normal. This is the new reality now. This is it. We've finally come to the other side. We've come to the flip side. What are your thoughts?
I'm pretty curious to see what the knock-on effects of COVID will be. Like, right now we've just been like freaking, everyone's been printing money, things have been like stimulated, and we haven't really seen the effects of COVID. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. It's still crazy how everything is just on the upswing. People are spending money buying NFTs, buying Pokemon cards, and buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards. What's up with the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Krishn?
So I bought some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I bought a tin.
Okay.
It's quite nice.
Okay.
Right? And then I bought a few packs. So the tin came with 3 packs, and then the other pack I bought came in like 4 packs. And they were like, I just did it because I was like, trying to reclaim my childhood. I had a lot when I was growing up, and I've lost them all. And all this hype is going around, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to buy it. I didn't spend too much. I spent reasonable. Like, when I tell you the amount later, you'll be like, oh, that's not even bad at all. It's more so just nostalgia. And then I'm not going to resell it. I'm just like, just bought it just because it's cool, and I wouldn't mind collecting it. Well, I'm not going to become like crazy.
Did you open the packs?
I did open the packs. I got like a few valuable cards. I bought like, I did it properly. I got the sleeves and everything.
Nice.
I got a few valuable ones, but other than that, it's all just like, so it's, it is what it is.
I want to see the cards you got.
I'll show you. So the most valuable card I got, it's not there, but it's somewhere in here. But yeah, it's worth $30.
Nice.
That's stonks. But you know, a lot of them are just like crappy cards that are just in here, and then the good ones are later back. But like, I don't know, or something about it. Like, I really like the detail in Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like,
Yeah, that's so nostalgic.
yeah, exactly.
Is this
You
like a
can-
new gen of cards? I haven't seen that card before.
Yeah, they're like, some of them are quite new gen. They're like, a lot of them I just didn't recognize because when I used to play and everything, like, dude, I didn't even know they were like black cards and everything.
Yeah, that's hella new gen. Yeah.
It's hella new gen, hella sick, and I was like, you know what, I'll just get it just to collect it. And then it turns out I really like it, so I might be buying some more, but I don't spend too much, so I have my head on my shoulders because for me this is just like a recreational purchase. I don't look at it as like an investment or whatever.
Yeah.
Because the minute I do that, then I'll be spending upwards, because I know someone I work with that spends like upwards in the thousands of dollars on cards. Like, I'm not even spending hundreds of dollars on the cards. Like, that's crazy to think how people actively spend that much money. And even like Pokemon cards, bro, you got cards selling for like $500. Who's the one that puts a monetary value on those cards? You know what I mean? Like, who? It's so interesting. Would you ever do it?
Buying cards. I think I remember when Pokemon was getting hot and only Gary Vee talked about it. I was really about to pull the trigger and just buy like a bunch of Charizards. But then I took a step back because I knew like this wasn't my game. I wanted to be focused on the business. And as I'm saying this, I'm like, I've been getting really distracted lately with like the car. I've been to the Rolex store a bit lately.
Really? Okay, so we go. Looks like my confession about the Yu-Gi-Oh cards has brought up a lot of
I know.
long-standing issues. Andy.
I'm getting distracted. Like back then, like getting those Pokemon cards would be a smarter decision than getting a Rolex or getting like a new car. I didn't get a new car. I still had the same two cars. But I've been really distracted lately, and obviously the reason why I allow this because I tell myself things such as like my cars are for free, the watches would be for free because they appreciate. I'm able to make money doing this and that, but then I would have been able to make way more money buying Pokemon cards back then, and I didn't do it.
Let me situation this to you. If you bought Pokemon cards way back before Logan Paul got on it, if you bought 5 PSA 10 Charizards, so PSA is a grading system, 10 being the highest, I think, right? If you bought 10 PSA 10 Charizards way back when, way before Logan Paul, just by Logan Paul doing his pack opening, skyrocketed the price of it. You'd be sitting on potentially tens of thousands. But if you think about it, it's also such a menial investment. Given it's such a small amount of money, you're thinking you have 5 cards that are now worth maybe $10,000 each. I don't know, depending on the market price of it now. But it is quite like for me, I wouldn't be able to like justify spending like $5,000 on say 10 cards for it. But if they appreciate like to $10,000 in each card, then it's like 50k, then you got a decent investment there. But it's up to you like how you'd hold it, etc. But yeah, it's interesting that you didn't pull the trigger on it. Imagine if you did.
Yeah, like I can't remember how much it was back then, but like I remember those like Charizard, Bulbasaur, and what's that third one? Squirtle. They were going for around like 8 to 10 grand each. I don't know how much they're worth now. I think those are probably PSAs like 7, 8, 9. No, probably like 8, around 8. So I'm curious to see how much would they be worth now. So Charizard first edition maybe?
Oh, PSA 10 Charizard sells for 220k.
Yeah, so it definitely wasn't a PSA 10. It was probably a PSA like 7, 8. Wow.
I'm looking at PSA 8. PSA 8 goes for 1.8k.
1.8k. Wow, that's crazy how PSA 8 to PSA 10 it goes from 1,000 to 200,000.
It's actually ridiculous. Like I just genuinely don't know. Like, is there any way to acquire these cards? Because there's no way, right? This is a 1999 card. Like, it's impossible to get something like that now. Like, surely it's impossible.
Exactly. There's always the stories of like people like randomly finding old packs underneath some like store shelves, and they're like first edition packs from 1999. Like there's always those crazy stories, and that's probably true. There's probably a few lying around randomly.
100%, 100%. Like, just imagine holding on to some of the cards that you might have had when you were younger. Like, God, like you'd be sitting on a landmine. You'd be sitting, just thinking about it. I'm just like, should have kept all my Pokemon cards when I was young. I'm pretty sure I've lost them all. They're just thrown out, but
I
it
got
is
like,
what it is.
I got some old Yu-Gi-Oh cards I want to check out. Pretty sure I had like some like rare cards. I don't know if they're worth too much, but I definitely want to see that collection. They were stored in, you know, those footy folders, the NFL.
Yeah.
That's what it was stored in, all my Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Well, if you still have it, I'm gonna come around. We're gonna go through it.
And we'll research and we'll see how much worth of Yu-Gi-Oh cards I have.
Yeah, and then you might be sitting on a small fortune. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So yeah.
How do you plan on stepping away from this recreational side that you have coming up? Because you're saying that you're feeling it. You got to like really drill yourself down to earth and just stay away from all the from the atrocities that are the recreational activities in your life. What are you saying? Do you feel like you're getting too attached to it or drawn to it, or?
I don't know, because I think we talked about this in like episode 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But with these things, strangely enough, they've been actually creating opportunities. And, you know, if I had Pokemon cards, that would have not, like, no one's going to see my Pokemon cards. That's not going to bring in any new opportunities. But, like, for example, I remember last weekend on Saturday, went to, like, a party, pulled up with the G-Wagon, parked outside, and I was just talking to like the birthday girl's dad, and he owns like a liquor company. And then his son comes up, says hi to me. I'm like, hey. He was like, is that your G-Wagon outside? Because previously it wasn't there, and then it showed up, and you're the only person that showed up. So I guess it was yours. I was like, yeah, I recently got it. And then dad's like, oh, what was it? And the son was like, he has a G-Wagon. And then dad was like lights sort of shot up. So like stuff like that happens. Imagine like having a Rolex, like that definitely like changes people's perspective, or like it opens up conversations. And if you're able to have a Rolex for free, where you buy it and you can sell it for the exact same price, even if you wear it for a few times, or buying a car that you can use for like a few months and still you can sell it for the same price you bought it. That's sort of the dilemma I'm in. Will I get a bigger return if I let all these assets sit in cash and I just focus on my business and wasn't too distracted by having to fix things, having to do research about things, and having the extra confidence, having all that cash sitting in cash, versus being able to increase my stress levels, get distracted a bit, get into a hobby, but now have less cash, be less focused, but have something that can maybe open up more opportunities. So that's sort of the dilemma I'm in. And if I just look at whenever I have a question, I don't know what the answer is, I just look at the world's richest person. And if I look at, let's say, the world's richest person right now is Jeff Bezos, I think I know the answer. The answer is like, it's not worth the energy.
I was going to say, like, it all depends on how you choose to use such recreational items or whatever. Like, for me, I'm like, whatever. But for you, like, it depends on how the G-Wagon, you said, can open up opportunities, but you need to put yourself out there and get those opportunities and, like, meet those people and get it done. You know what I mean? And, like, the same with the Rolex. Like, it is definitely a good, like, conversation starter and something that can, like, lead to something more. But it's like, yeah, A, you got to put yourself in the situation. Then B, it's all like, for me, it's like, if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? Like, if they notice it and they start talking about it, it's like, oh, damn, you know, and then it worked. But it's hard to put like a value on those sort of like opportunities. You know what I mean? Because you don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know when the opportunities are going to come. So it's, yeah, that's what makes it even harder, because you're purchasing it in the hope that it could lead to something bigger, but it's so hard to monetize that opportunity and be like, you know, really like classify it. You know what I mean? Like, if that makes any sense, like as to when it's going to come or what's going to happen, like, guarantee it essentially. Yeah,
I agree. And I think another thing I do have to take into account is that I am younger. I do marketing, I do advertising, I do personal branding. So maybe that's something I have not taken into account. And then another thing I've been told is like, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, they had to go through the phase of buying Ferraris and nice cars and nice things, big mansions, and then get over that phase to get to where they are. Or maybe they needed those phases because that is what helped them bring it to the next level. Like, you never know if like, because like they're all, how like people say, hey, I've been through that phase, just skip it. But like, what if the only reason that person got to that place they are now is because of that phase?
100% agree. You're so young, dude. You're so incredibly young. You got so much time ahead of you. Everyone that went through to what like you would have gone through in terms of like a startup opportunity or like, like start cultivating and creating their own business, they all made mistakes. You don't just jump from the start to the finish line. You go through these phases, you make mistakes, you make good decisions. I wouldn't even classify it as a mistake. Yeah, you're right. You classify it as phase. You go through these phases, you learn from it, or like you do it all together. Even if you go through a phase, you might look back and be like, yeah, I don't regret it at all, because it's something that you tried it, and it worked out. And like, I don't know. I wouldn't view it as a mistake, and I wouldn't view it as a phase. I just look at it all as just like a massive learning curve and putting yourself out there. So yeah, like if you didn't do all this, you'd come out a lot less knowledgeable and like a lot less self-aware as well as to what's going on around you. So I think it's important. I think everyone does it. I 100% agree with you. It's I wouldn't characterize it as a phase, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's like a natural progression.
I agree. So yeah, that's the dilemma I am. I think I'm gonna like probably slow it down, or because like for example, the new strategy now is I'm gonna like just do what I did with clothing. You know how when I was young I used to like Supreme, Yeezy. Like I'm gonna do the exact same thing with cars. Buy cars, list it up online while it's being listed for the next few months. Have no pressure to sell. Enjoy the car, and if it sells for the price I'm looking for, it sells. If it doesn't, just continue enjoying the car. So I think that's something I might do. That does require time and energy, but it does aid to a personal brand. And like, yesterday, for example, I met this girl that was working for Google. She's interested in like helping me out with marketing, and the G-Wagon was like we were just going out, and then I opened my car to get in. She was like, oh shit, is that a G-Wagon? And we ended up talking for an extra 15 minutes. So it's crazy how like things like that. And for example, the liquor owner, he does these drives where he has like a group of like 80 people with supercars, Ferraris, McLarens, and they do these drives to like what's that winery area?
Hunter Valley. They do drives to Hunter Valley, Wollongong, Kangaroo Valley, and he showed me photos of all these supercars. And I messaged him. I told him, I'd love to be a part of it. Like next time you go on a drive, please let me know, and I'd love to tag along. But there's just like a bunch of these like rich dudes with like all these like cars that are like 300-400 grand, and yeah. Okay, so these are the stories you need to tell me before you tell me before you tell me all the struggles you've had. You got to tell me about some of the successes as well, because that's huge. And imagine a drive like that, you meet maybe 3 people that you kick on with, and then it changes everything.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah. See, I stand corrected. Like like as much as trouble and drama and headache that freaking car has caused,
yeah,
there's a silver lining. There's a silver lining, and you didn't mention that at all. But on the note of you saying, treating the cars as like how you would treat your old clothes hobby, there's a lot more paperwork. I'm sure there's a lot more paperwork and a lot more headache associated with like getting rid of it. But I think it's a decent idea, because I can't see yourself losing money if you play it smart. You know what I mean? If you play it smart, you won't lose money. If anything, you might even gain a couple of grand or two every couple of months just by doing that, and just become like you could just become a massive, like a car tycoon. Just build your way up to build your way up.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do the series, like trading a pen to a Ferrari. Because like, I think there's this guy named, I can't remember his name, but he does real estate, but at the same time in his sort of shop he has like so many supercars, and like I think he makes this facade where he's just super rich and he has all these supercars because he's rich. But I'm pretty sure he does the same thing. He basically has like a low-key mini dealership where he buys and sells cars. He buys these cool rare cars and he just lets it sit there. And when someone buys it, he sells it. And he gets to enjoy all these cars, and it really props up his personal brand. Just him having all these cars. But he's really making use of it. Like, he's filming videos every day. So he's taking a lot of Instagram photos. So he's really flexing them and squeezing the value out of that. That's something I need to do more. Recently, another thing I want to talk about is Instagram. I haven't posted on Instagram for a long time, and I've just been focused on making this phone call funnel become profitable and work. Like, I want to post now because I want to share my successes, but at the same time I do feel a bit of a fraud if I do post now and I'm not truly like killing it. And thirdly, I know that if I do post, I'm going to get distracted, and I want to like just hone all my energy to making this phone call funnel work until I post it. And fourthly, if I post something, by the time I post it, I already want to be 10 steps ahead.
I know what you mean, but at the same time, you need to understand that you're going on and on and on about personal brand. And the more that I think about it, it's actually right. Like, that guy that has all the supercars that you're talking about, he, milks his videos on Instagram and etc. Right? And he shows a lot of the videos. But if he didn't have a personal brand on Instagram, if he wasn't selling his life, etc., it wouldn't work. Just my opinion, just post and just forget about it, because it keeps it active. Because I just checked just on my phone just now. The last time you posted, the 20th of January. You've changed your bio. Just post.
Okay. I might do that then. Okay.
I'm not saying post every day, but stay alive, stay active on it. Like, you see your mentor that's in America, post. They just keep posting, and then through people just finding you and explore and just finding you on the personal brand, just scrolling through, you're active, you post, just post.
Dude, you know what's crazy? That same weekend I also went to a wedding. I sat down at this table, it was like filled with all these kids, and then this guy just staring at me, but it wasn't too obvious. He was just like, look at me. He didn't say anything. Half an hour later, he's like, hey. And I'm like, hey. And he shows his phone, and it says adding my YouTube. I was like, is this you? I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. I was like, and he was just like shocked. I was like, I can't believe I was watching your videos and you were right here. And then for the next half an hour, he's like, I watch your videos every day. Do you know how to find a winning product? How to do drop shipping? He was just asking a bunch of questions for the next half an hour.
And that's not the downfall, but it's like something that you just got to be able to put up with and like deal with, because how old was he?
Maybe 25, maybe mid-20s.
Oh. Okay, I was picturing like a 13-year-old. Yeah.
He was Vietnamese, and he came from Vietnam, and apparently I'm really famous in Vietnam. Apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. See, all the Vietnamese gang that are probably not listening, there you go. Shout out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny how just at a wedding table, just someone random just found you and did that. See, but that's what I mean, just pose.
And one of my family friends, he took a photo of like, we got these group photos, and he printed out these like those rectangle things with all the different photos in front of the photo booth. Took a photo of it, put it on his story, and someone replied to him. So he's like, hey, is that Andy Mai? So I was like, that, and he showed, he's like, Tommy, look. He was like, Andy, look, like one of my friends recognizes you. So that was like 2 recognizations in one night, and I was like, wow, these are starting to come together.
So then, if you just keep posting on Instagram, you tell me now, what's the harm?
Yeah, I need posts. Yeah, I do. I think the longer I stop posting, the more comfortable. There's something weird anxiety about posting.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The more comfortable you get, and the more in your head it gets. You get in your own head because you get anxiety. You think about, I don't know if just post.
Okay.
Just post.
All right, we'll do. I'll post it. But talking about that wedding, dude. So like the couple were, I think maybe late 20s or maybe mid to late 20s, and they were both Vietnamese, and they were ravers. They were like LBs and LGs, and it was like, from my point of view, it was basically like a wedding rave. There was like hardstyle music, like freaking the best man speech was like, you know, I met you 3 years ago. You were in Melbourne. We were at Transmission, and you know, this person introduced me to you. And at first, I was like, who the hell is this guy? And you know, after we went to Rave, you know, we fell in love and we just got so close. You know, ever since then, it's been raving, Sank, Cass, and all. And that was like the best man speech. It was like, and then one day we were at Massive, which is like basically a rave club, and you came up to me. I don't know if because you were cooked or what, but you said, hey, do you want me to be your best man? And I said, yes. And I'm sitting here like, what the hell is this best man story?
Oh my.
And then, oh my god, so like the wedding is like half their friends and half the parents' family members.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they're raving, and then the group is like on someone's shoulder and they're saying, fuck yeah, and everyone's yelling, and there's all these old Vietnamese grandparents around, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? This is like an Asian rave wedding.
That's got to be a first, an Asian rave wedding. What the hell? Why do people do this? That just makes me feel so weird, bro. Just have your personality aside. Like, have the wedding. Okay, you know what? I can't say anything because, you know, the wedding is a ceremony of two people getting married, right? Like, I can't say anything. If they want to have their wedding like that, fine, whatever. But still, it just speaks different languages of trashy to me. You know what I mean? Like, just piece of shit. That's so weird. Like, imagine having a wedding like that. What the hell? How separate it?
I think that's going to happen to our like group of people. Like, let's say one of our friends, let's say our close friend Kevin has a wedding. His whole friend group, everyone's nice, tucked up, suited up. But during the wedding night, they're going to be rowdy. They're going to be going crazy. There's going to be hard style. Everyone's going to go hard. There's going to be a room for certain activities, certain substances. And that's the exact same thing happened. I could tell there was this one room that people would come in and out with. The groom would come out. And when they come out, they're like, yeah, let's go. And you could tell that they did a line or something.
That's just, oh my God. I don't know what to say. But yeah, the reason why, like, for me, I just find that just kind of repulsive is because I've grown up going to a few Indian weddings, and it's like, you know, really, really deep in culture, tradition, history, and like, you know, doing it all nicely. A lot of mutual respect between different parties and everyone involved. And yeah, we have fun at the receptions and all that. And like, it's a good time, you know, like we do it up proper, do it up big. But for me, it's just kind of, I'm just thinking like, oh God, that's just so weird to think about. I'm just like, but yeah, 100%, I agree. It's gonna be the future. Like, it's gonna be wedding raves, bro. Wedding raves is the next big thing. You should just start organizing. Have an event planning organization that specializes in wedding raves. You know, you got the disco lights. You got the side room for extracurricular activities.
So yeah, it was like weird because like it just the old and young people mixed together. But like,
and where did you find yourself? Where did you find yourself in that wedding? Because you would have just been torn between two realities. You know what I mean?
I was just sitting down with the other younger kids, sober, watching it all happen, and I was really intrigued. Like, I was just watching everything. I was just seeing all the people stressed and just seeing how everything happened. And like, I think like I enjoy weddings because it's like one, you're not responsible. That's the good thing about like going to parties. You're not responsible, but you get to enjoy it. And also it was like research. I was looking at things and I picked on like some few rules for my future wedding. Few rules. One, you don't want a best man that's like an alpha that's gonna treat you like a little brother.
Yeah, you don't want a best man like that. Giving a speech like that as a best man, I'd actually probably just kick you off the stage.
I know.
That's like,
and like, you know, everyone's laughing and everyone's like giggling, but like, I don't know, like the best man was this like cool like alpha dude, and the groom was like the, you know, the nice guy that was like getting all the stories about him. Another rule was, I think like I just want like like, you know, more like, for example, like one wedding I saw was, do you know Taeyang, the wedding dress singer, the Korean wedding dress, Taeyang, Big Bang. Yeah. So like his wedding was just like classical, like Ed Sheeran type of music, and like it was like a freaking ball. Like that's sort of like the energy I have. Like I just don't have the energy to just yell and shit. So like
there's a reason you separate raves from weddings. There's a whole reason for that. You know what I mean? Like why? It's almost as if they're using that wedding as an excuse to go to a rave because of everything. Like, come on, like, you know what I mean? Like, imagine looking back on, I don't know, like, I was just about to say, like, imagine looking back on it and just being like, oh, yeah, we raved fully hard at your wedding, bro. That was, like, yeah, and what's the next couple of rules?
Yeah, this time it wasn't like an actual rave, it was just like a normal wedding, but had rave, like, hardstyle music, freaking, everyone's rowdy. I think what's another rule? I think another rule is I just probably spend a lot of time just going to every single table and just like really thanking everyone for coming. Oh, another rule. No freaking games that they play this game where the husband would put on a mask and he'll go ahead and hold every girl's hand and have to guess which one is his wife. And the girl did the same thing. The girl would put on a mask and touch every guy's like shoulder and chest and find which one is her husband. And I think like one of them got it wrong and it's just awkward.
Imagine that. Imagine getting it wrong and then for the rest of your life, it'll always be that one moment in your wedding that you that's screwed up and it just becomes a lot worse. Yeah, 100%.
And dude, in the bathroom, there was like vomit on the floor. And this was early on. I was like, man, like, this is like really like rowdy. But so market research, now I know things to avoid for my future wedding later down the road, or like even like a future like freaking 25th 30th 30, who knows. Like I do want to do like something nice, something cool, but at the same time it's so expensive and the enjoyment you get from that one night is not worth that money. Like if you drop like, I don't know how much a wedding costs, like 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand, like you would get much more enjoyment buying a new car that would last you for like the whole year for that versus that one night.
Versus that one night. Yeah, the night's meant to be memorable and everything, but for me, it's like the opportunity cost. It's too much, but like, look, at the end of this episode 29, we've come to the episode 29 synopsis, you know, where there's different phases in your life. There's different rules that we have regarding weddings. Andy's request about buying Pokemon cards. We have, you know, Andy's becoming a tycoon, and no hardstyle weddings in 2021 and beyond, please. No. Like, if I know it wasn't a hardstyle wedding, but like, you know what I mean? Like, just around, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there you go, guys. What an episode. Thank you so much for listening.
Peace out, guys. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this diverse episode, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace, guys.
Take care. Peace.